Another year, another national championship for the Texas Tech Spirit Squad, but this time the team went back for seconds. Coming up, we'll have the details of the latest victories for Texas Tech Cheer.
An annual event on the South Plains that has been going on for nearly half a century just finished up their latest celebrations of the arts yesterday afternoon. Find out more about this yearly tradition and how two members of the Texas Tech faculty were honored during a first-time award ceremony.
And not one, not two, but three Red Raider teams celebrated big victories over the weekend, and all here on the Texas Tech campus. MCTV's Allie Scott has highlights and all the details from Texas Tech baseball, softball, and women's tennis in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Yemi Akinyeye.
And I'm Cassandra Raucheisen. Texas Tech Spirit program is well known across the university. The program includes Raider Red, the Mass Raider, along with Tech Cheer and the Palm Squad.
Over the years, the program has grown in notoriety beyond Raiderland, bringing in a series of national championships. And this year's Tech Cheer is bringing home not one, but two national awards to add to the trophy case. Members of Texas Tech Spirit program headed to Daytona, Florida last week for the annual National Cheerleaders Association and National Dance Alliance Championships. Tech Cheer brought two teams to the competition, small and large co-ed cheer. Both teams competed in the preliminary round on Thursday and advanced to Friday's finals. And then on Friday evening, the winners were announced and both the small and large co-ed teams were named national champions. The achievement marked back-to-back championships for Tech's small co-ed team and the first national championship for their large co-ed team in 6 years. Both teams competed in the band shell on Daytona Beach and celebrated with a traditional dip in the ocean following the announcements. Along with this year's awards, the TTU Spirit program has won 7 national championships and 1 world championship in just the last 5 years.
In other news, international students here at Texas Tech are concerned about the future of their education after actions by the Trump administration changed the immigration status of several Red Raiders. Last Wednesday, news began to spread that more than 100 international students' visas had been revoked at universities across the state of Texas. Reports stated that Texas Tech was among 7 state institutions with enrolled students from other countries whose legal status was changed last week. According to the Texas Tribune, out of those 7 universities, Texas Tech had the least number of student visas revoked, at 3. But since then, Texas Tech released a statement to the media saying that university officials are aware of more students whose immigration status was terminated. The university went on to say that they would not be keeping a running count of students who have had their visas revoked. Largely due to the university not being directly responsible for student visas, the federal government handles visas, and the information regarding the student's current legal status is listed in the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, or SEVIS, database. MCTV is continuing to follow this story, and we will bring you any updates as additional information becomes available.
On a much different note, the Lubbock events calendar was once again busy this weekend. Out of the many options on the schedule, there was one event that has been celebrating the creativity of local residents for almost 50 years. The 47th annual Lubbock Arts Festival took place on Saturday and Sunday at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. The event featured art exhibits, performances, demonstrations, and interactive activities for attendees. Both young and old, more than 100 artists from across the United States attended the event, offering a variety of items for sale, including paintings, pottery, jewelry, and more. The annual Lubbock Arts Festival also featured works and performances by dozens of faculty, staff, and students from Texas Tech. Saturday's schedule of events also featured the inaugural Flower Power Award ceremony, honoring 2 Texas Tech professors. Doctors Catherine Hayhoe and Yashiana Sharma were presented with the first ever Flower Power Awards for their contribution to helping preserve and save the environment. The 47th Lubbock Arts Festival wrapped up yesterday afternoon at 5 p.m. It's hard to believe, but just over a week ago, the Lubbock area was drying out from one of the last winter weather events of the year. Although the snow had melted by last Monday, most students were still recovering from a chilly weekend.
Less than 7 days later, the Lubbock area experienced record-breaking temperatures with highs in the 90s. On both Saturday and Sunday, the Lubbock airport reached 96 degrees, setting or tying a daily record. In fact, Sunday's low of 65 was also the warmest overnight temperature for that day since 1981. So will the heat wave continue this week? Let's take a look at the MCTV's forecast. The MCTV's tower cam is showing mostly sunny skies today, and even though you can't tell by looking, It's a lot cooler this afternoon. Temperatures have climbed into the 70s this afternoon, but it won't get much warmer. Today's high should top out near 75 degrees, and we'll see an increase of the clouds into the evening. The cooler temperatures will continue into the evening, with lows dropping into the 50s tonight. Tomorrow's weather will be almost identical, with mostly sunny skies and temperatures back into the 70s, but there should also be lots of wind than we saw earlier today. After tomorrow's temperatures, we will once again warm back up on Wednesday and Thursday, and the wind could be a factor again on Thursday. But heading into the weekend, another cooling trend is on the way, and there's even a chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday, which means we could see a wet Easter here in Lubbock. Looking ahead, mild temperatures and dry weather should return to the South Plains starting on the student holiday next Monday.
The ongoing measles outbreak here in West Texas passed a new milestone last week, with more than 500 cases officially reported in Texas. And by last Thursday, that number had once again jumped as the infection continues to spread. The latest report from the Texas Department of State Health Services included 36 new cases of measles, increasing the number to 541 since late January. The newest report includes one additional county in Texas with positive tests for the disease, El Paso County in far west Texas. Earlier in the week, Randall County was also added. Randall is one of the two counties where most of the population of Amarillo is located. Here in Lubbock County, the number of infections officially stands at 38. But once again, the county with the most number of people diagnosed with measles is Gaines County at 355. Within the last week, 40 new cases of the disease came from Gaines County alone. DSHs included one additional note in the latest report, stating that only 5% of the total number of cases should currently be infectious, since their rash would have showed up more than a week ago. That means less than 30 people across the state have been confirmed to have measles, could potentially pass on disease at this time.
Texas Tech athletics was back in full force this weekend, as almost all of the spring sports were in action between last Thursday and Sunday.
And nearly all of those teams came out with a result in the win column. MCTV's Allie Scott has the details on three groups of Red Raiders who showed out and ended up celebrating some big moments to close out the weekend in sports. Allie?
Thank you, Cassandra and Yemi. It was a dominant weekend on the field and courts as the Texas Tech Red Raiders continue their hot streaks in Big 12 play. The Texas Tech Red Raider softball team swept Houston. The Red Raider baseball team had a home series win, and the Red Raiders women tennis brought home another trophy, this one meaning a little more. Let's dive in. It all started Friday night when the softball team took a 3-2 win over the Houston Cougars, and once again it was the Nigeri Kennedy show. Kennedy played both sides and was unreal as she threw a complete game with 7 strikeouts and only allowed 2 runs. Kennedy then drove in all 3 Red Raider runs with 2 monster homers in the 2nd and 4th innings. She now has a season total of 6 home runs. Lauren Allred also chipped in at the plate, going 2 for 3, while Maya Davis added 1 hit. Houston tried to come back with a late solo home run at the top of the 7th inning, but Tech shut the door in order to gain their 12th Big 12 win of the season. On Saturday, the Red Raiders clinched a 6-2 victory, which allowed Kennedy to add win number 17, and freshman Samantha Lincoln showed up as relief as she earned her 2nd save of the season with no hits while striking out 4 batters. Allred continued her hot streak with 2 more RBIs, and Victoria Valdez had 2 sacked bunts while catching 3 pitchers with flawless play from behind the plate. Tech capped off the weekend with a 3-0 shutout, marking their 17th shutout of the season and also clinching their 11th consecutive win, the longest streak since 2011. Lincoln and Chloe Riazetto combined for a 4-hit shutout. Demi Elder went 2 for 2 at the plate, and Alexa Langoliers, Valdez, and Reagan Jennings drove in a run to seal the win. The number 14 Red Raiders will face off against Big 12 opponent University of Arizona in a 3-game series starting on Thursday. The Wildcats are currently ranked 13th in the nation, and they are 2nd in the Big 12 standings behind Texas Tech. This is a big series for both teams, and it's also getting added attention with national TV coverage on FS1 on Friday and ESPNU on Saturday. The Texas Tech Red Raider baseball team bounced back in a big way this weekend, taking the series 2 out of 3 against Baylor at Dan Law Field. Tech opened the series with a 9-2 win over the Bears behind a strong start from Matt Hewer. Hewer pitched for 7 innings, tying his career high in innings pitched. While the Red Raiders were down 2-1 in the 7th inning, the offense erupted after gaining 8 unanswered runs, which included back-to-back 4-run innings. Damian Bravo initially tied the game with an RBI single, and the team took advantage of a Baylor error to take an outright lead. Senior pitcher Jack Siebert came in as relief for the last inning, and with the bases loaded, Dylan Maxey hit a ground ball for an infield single. When Baylor's Pearson Rybach threw a wild pitch, Tech scored again for a 4-2 lead. Grant Boehm then scored another run to give Tech a 5-2 lead. Logan Hughes, Robin Villanueva, and Maxey all hit RBI singles, followed by another double from Boehm to close out the night with a win for the Red Raiders. The game switched around on Saturday as Baylor had 6 runs in the first inning and added 8 more runs over the next 3 innings. Tech starter Zane Petty gave up 11 runs in 2 innings. Wesley Jordan was the star for the Bears as he went 4 for 4 with 3 home runs in the first 3 innings and finishing off with 6 RBIs. Former Red Raider Travis Sanders also made a mark as he went 4 for 6 with 3 RBIs. On the Tech side, Tracer Lopez went 3 for 4 with 1 home run, and Connor Mohan went in as pitch relief for 4 innings and only allowed 2 runs. On Sunday, Tech trailed 5-0 but battled back for a 9-8 win. Robin Villanueva went 4 for 4 with a home run while scoring 3 times. In total, he went 7 for 9 across Tech's wins this weekend. When Baylor scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings, Tech snapped back with 3 runs in the second inning, piggybacking off of a botch tag play by Travis Sanders and an RBI walk by Kendall Johnson. Villanueva tied the game in the 3rd inning with a home run, but Baylor went back up 7-5. When Tech gained the lead, pitcher Jack Siebert came in clutch by only giving up 1 run. In the 9th inning, with the tying runner on base, Tracer Lopez made the final play to seal the game, and the Red Raiders stole the series victory. Texas Tech will travel to Phoenix, where they will take on the Arizona State in a 3-game series starting on Thursday. First pitch is set for 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and all games will be available through ESPN. The Texas Tech women's tennis team had a near sweep on Sunday afternoon as they took a 4-1 victory over Arizona to secure their 4th Big 12 regular season title. Evelina Safidanova and Maria Lahola took down Danielle Tuthin and Josie Usarau 6-2 to secure the first 2 doubles points. Then Andrea Lila and Jermaine Sheriff earned another point against Zoya Chulak and Bella Nevahoven. The finals double point came from Yekaterina Dmitrichenko and Haley Murphy as they took a 5-3 victory. The Red Raiders carried their dominance into singles as they took 5 of the first 6 sets. Murphy added 1 point for Tech, followed by Sheriff earning another point, and Dmitrichenko earned Tech's final point after trailing 4-5. She sealed the victory with a 7-5 comeback win. The team is now 12-1 in Big 12 play, setting a new program record for conference wins in a season. The Red Raiders earned the number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament in Waco and will play on Friday at 10 a.m. against the winner between the 8th seed and either the 9 or 16 seeds. That's all for Texas Tech Sports. Now back to Yemi and Cassandra.
Thanks, Allie. So, Cassandra, did you go to any of the weekend sporting events here on campus?
Unfortunately, no, but I'm hoping to go next weekend.
Yes, girl, you better invite me, along with our friends Destiny, Tiffany, Amber, and Sarah, and other people, I guess. We better see you there. Anyways, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.